Okay, we are in what could potentially be the last segment. In this segment, we're going to be focusing on collecting some last-minute materials, some last-minute resources that are available out in the world. And we're going to be doing the majority of that in Caelid. We're also going to be finding some merchants that we need to have access to as well. So the first thing that we're going to be doing is starting from the Egheal Lake South region. We're going to open up this part of the map here, which is going to give us the borders of an area called Caelid that we haven't even really talked about yet. It is an extremely dangerous area. I do not recommend going there until you're at least level 50 or 60, and really should be higher, because they have ramped up the difficulty for that particular area big time in comparison to both Limgrave and Liurnia Lakes. So let's go ahead and transport on over, and I'll show you where we're going. On our way there, we are going to be stopping at another quick location that I want to show you. Now, this guy has passed by. Let's go ahead and jump up here. Oh. Another skull. Make sure to crack your skulls. As I said, thin beast bones. Important for the crafting of arrows. Okay, so I made a left out of the site of grace, and we are going to go down this hill where we are going to find another set of coffins. If you ever see this particular material, make sure you pick it up. It is Trina's Lily. Trina's Lily are very important and will be used in a very particular arrow type that you are going to want to craft for a very specific set of bosses. Those arrows are going to be called Sleeping Bone arrows. There is a regular version called St. Trina's arrows as well. But if you ever want to craft Sleeping Bone arrows, you will need Trina's Lily to do so. So anytime you see them, make sure to pick them up. The reason why is because they are very rare, and they do not replenish if you go and sit at a site of grace. Once they're gone, they're gone. Just killing some wolves. Remember, I told you that anytime you find coffins, there is going to be some kind of enemy surrounding them. In this case, it is wolves. So I'm just clearing the area before I get all of these wonderful golden runes. I don't really know how she got a fight. Oh, man. Alright, nope, I'm not. Okay, let's do a quick heal. Oops. Okay, so Golden Rune 4. Excellent starting point. Level 1. Level 2. Level 2. Level 1. Level 1. Level 2, level 3, and a level 1. So that was 4 level 1s, 2 level 2s, a level 3, and a level 4. Plus, I got all the runes from killing the wolves. And, as I mentioned, anytime you clear a pack of animals, if you used a flask, you get it back. Fantastic pathing. Now, by me coming down here, it gives me access to a new map piece. So let's go ahead and go grab that real quick. Another skull to crack open. And this area that we are entering into is called Mistwood. Oh, one thing I do want to do, I want to craft some Roa Raisin. These are the items I told you about that will allow you to heal your horse. So you're going to want to make sure to have some of them available to you at all times. And I'm going to put them right here in my inventory slot. I don't think my horse needs to be healed at the moment, but I just wanted to make sure I had the ability to do so. There's another scarab. Ground Slam is the Ash Award that one gives. I've never used it, so I don't know much about it. Tarnished Gold Sunflower. A couple of tears. We'll talk about those in a little bit. Now we've got ourselves our first bear. The great thing is this bear is so worried about that tree, he's not even going to care about us. So let's grab what he's protecting. Nomadic Warriors Cookbook 4. Let's take a look and see what that is. That gives us fetid pots and roped fetid pots. Fetid pots are, I believe they're rot pots for the most part, but I'm not 100% positive. I've never actually used them. But we did also get a new map piece. So this fills in this particular area, but it also opens up the door here to Caelid. And that's what we're going to want to actually get into next. You can see there's already something on the map for us, but we're going to actually take the road that's going to take this right down here. We're going to pick up the map piece that's going to fill in this area. We're going to pick up a golden seed, get access to a few merchants. But before we do that, there's another church we need to find, and that's right up here. One other quick thing that I want to point out. Right here is a very important location. I don't want to tell you why, for fear that it might spoil things. But you will want to try and clear that location. At the very least, there is a golden seed there, but there is a key item there that you will need for the story of the game. So if you should find your way there, I highly recommend it. But be careful, it can be difficult, especially early in the game. Alright, so let's go to our next church. Come on, big boy. Hatchet really comes in handy. I could have used my bow, but I decided I wanted to save my arrows. I'm not a big fan of boars. That's the reason why I killed him. The boars in this game can be very nasty. Okay, so we've got ourselves another church here. Now, as I've told you before, churches are very, very important. They all have something of importance. In this case, we've got a site of grace. We've got another sacred tier right here. And then over here, we have the Flask of Wondrous Physic. You're only going to get one of these, but these provide you the option to mix two different tiers together to give you additional abilities. Now let me show you what I mean. Let's go to the Site of Grace. Go down to Flasks. And, oops, sorry, not Flasks. Mix Wondrous Physic. So in this, you have 2 slots. And you choose 2 tiers that you're going to find. Either we found 2 of them right at the Minor Erd Tree over in Mistwood, or there was one given to us along with the Wondrous Physic Flask. You are going to find others by killing specific boss types. And I'll talk about those at the very end of the video. In this case, we've got these 2. Crimson Crystal Tier, which restores half of total HP. Green Spill, which temporarily boosts stamina recovery. And Spiked Cracked, which enhances charged attacks. Now, you're going to, as I said, find plenty of others. Some that help you against lightning. Some that help you against poison. Some that you get the idea. They all provide different effects. And you're only going to get one of these flasks. So you're going to want to potentially change what's in the flask over time, depending upon who you're fighting against. And giving you a better option to deal with that particular enemy or boss. I'm going to go ahead and put in the Crimson Crystal Tier and the Green Spill Crystal Tier. Okay. Let me go ahead and move time towards the morning. Okay. Now, right behind this church is a Ash of War that I highly recommend for anyone that is going to have a blade. Just gotta make sure to find it. Pretty sure it's up here. Oh, there it is. So this is the Sacred Blade. It will throw out a Holy Slash out in front of your blade. If you're going to be using a sword of any kind, definitely recommend it. So we're going to use a couple of well springs here. I could kill all of these wolves if I wanted to, but I'm not going to for right now. Another Trina Lily. Make sure to grab that. So I'm going to use both of these well springs and then this one right here as well. And this is going to put us right at the entrance to Caelid. Now, as I said, Caelid is a very, very dangerous place. So I am going to do everything in my power to stay away from everybody until one specific point. Do not go to that church yet until you feel like you're ready. That's all I'm going to say. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to come here and pick up the Site of Grace here at this location. But be careful you don't go running too far so that you don't aggro that bird right there. Okay. Now, let's take a look at the map. What we need to do is to get over to this part of the road so that we can head straight down and eventually get access to a couple of additional grace points. But before we even do that, I'm going to head straight down the road. Right up there on that hill is one of the merchants that we need. So let's go grab that first. And in this part of Caelid, the best thing is to just stay on the road. Unless the road is already full of really bad things. We've got another grace point here. Okay, another grace point over here. I'm going to sit at it so that I can reset the world. And then we're going to go up the hill. And there we go. And there's another grace point inside the house. We're going to grab that. And we've got ourselves a new merchant.
Well, it's been an age since. How can I help?
So as we're going to see here, regular arrows just like everybody else, but he has serpent arrows, and serpent arrows are your poison arrows. So rather than ever needing to craft them, you can always buy them right here. He actually doesn't have any cookbooks to sell, so I just wanted to make sure that we got this on the map. The other thing to point out is he does have a specific torch called the Beast Repellent Torch, and this can be helpful, if you want to just prevent dogs, wolves, or other similar types of beasts from attacking you as you're going through a cave or a tunnel or what have you. All right, let's make our let's go back. There actually is a map piece right here, so I'm going to go ahead and go grab that real quick. And I do mean real quick. I do not. Caelid is my least favorite location in the entire game. They send you here way too early before you're ready to deal with it. Alright, so let's go back to Caelid Ruins. And then you automatically feel like a failure because you're not doing enough damage. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to head down this road so that we can open up the map and see where the next map piece is. Again, I'm going to be very, very cognizant of things around me, such as that. Aha! Back on the road. And we've got ourselves another site of grace, so let's stop here. Sure nothing's following. We should be good. So we've opened up the map. We're just going to continue right on down the road. Let me remove these from my... There we go. Just wanted to get them off the map. Now, the good thing is as we continue down this road, we are going to find other sites of grace. Not necessarily right next to the road, but they are definitely here. Now, as you go down this road, you're going to see that fire. Head straight to that fire. That is another merchant.
Welcome, dear customer. Yes, right this way. Welcome, valued customer. Come, please. I'm hungry.
Now, this guy has fire arrows, so that's extremely important. He also sells poison bone darts, which can certainly help if you don't have any arrows. He also sells poison stone and poison stone clumps, which you can actually throw at people to cause damage. He also, and this is making you aware, boluses are what is going to remove a status effect. And in this particular case, it's Scarlet Rot. So the preserving bolus will remove the Scarlet Rot effect. Okay. Now, it just so happens that he is right near a site of grace. So it will not be hard for you to get to him. Okay. Excellent. By getting and doing this, we've now found the next map piece. We want to head straight to that map piece. And we want to do everything in our power to stay away from danger. And in this case, that means staying off the road. You don't necessarily need to head straight there. But it does help. Because those guys right there are really, really bad. Yeah, so as you can see, I'm actually heading almost directly there. Oh, there's an item down here. I actually didn't know about that. And I almost got rotted for doing so. Yep, there's our map piece. Okay, now this is where things get interesting. First of all, here is another merchant. And this one also sells fire arrows. So you've got a couple of different choices for fire arrows. Actually, no, he doesn't. The other one does. But this one does sell the Warrior's Cookbook 15, which allows you to create rot bone arrows. And there are certain enemies that are very weak to rot. So something for you to keep in mind. You may want to end up buying this particular cookbook. And I'm going to provide you a list in the corresponding article that will be associated with this series. All of the different cookbooks that you'll need if you want to craft your own arrows. So between these three merchants here in Caelid, you should be in really good shape. Alright, I'm going to go grab another site of grace here real quickly. And then we're going to head for an item that is extremely important for anyone that's going to be an archer. Okay, let's take a look at the map. Alright, you'll see this big castle here. This is Castle Redmane. I don't want to tell you much about it, but it is a major, major point of the story in the game. Just before the bridge is a tower. At the top of this tower, there is a talisman called the Archer's Sting. And it adds damage to all ranged weapons. I believe it's somewhere in the neighborhood of between 10 and 20%. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head. I could look it up, though, for you, and I'll make sure to put it in the document, or in the webpage. We need to head here. However, there are soldiers everywhere. There are ginormous dogs everywhere. If we stay down this side, we should be able to get there without too much hassle. We're going to have to pay attention to the birds, And then once we're there, a battle is going to ensue. We can sit there and wait for the battle to finish and collect the runes as people are dying. It's an excellent farming location for an early part of the game. But before we do that, there is a golden seed right here at this Y point. So let's go grab that first, and then I'll walk you through the next part. There's still another thing on my map. Oh, I forgot to remove that one. Okay. Okay, so there's our golden seed. And apparently I got too close to a bird. So, I am now going to head towards that bird that's perched out on the cliffside. But not get too close. Because I'm already being chased by a bird. So that tower is what I'm trying to get to. I don't know if you could hear that, but there was a horn in the background. That was the soldiers going to war with the big dogs, and you can see the health bars dropping. That's great for us. So all we have to do is sit here and let it happen. Now, we do, though, still need to be stealthy about it, because there are two soldiers right up there at the top of the ladder. And we are going to want to kill them before we climb that ladder. And I'm going to want to try and use my mighty shot if at all possible. Now, the best way to do this... I got caught. Okay, well, I'm going to sit here and let some death happen. And then as soon as enough people have died and I've collected enough runes, we'll go ahead and deal with the bow shots up top. Okay, so we're dealing with these guys up top. I'm just waiting for the last one to clear himself so that I can start shooting at him again. Now, while I was sitting there waiting, I actually got just under 2,000 additional runes from the battle before. This is great stuff. Now, if I wanted to, I could try and... There we go. Alright, so those two guys are now taken care of. There are, of course, a whole bunch of soldiers out here that I could try and get some additional runes from if I wanted to. But I need to play it safe. I'm going to pull out my hatchet here. Because at the very top, where we're going to get this talisman from, there is at least one, if not two, additional soldiers. That was an additional smithing stone 3. One, two. And just like that, we got everybody. And we got the Archer's Sting Talisman. So let's go ahead and put that on. Alright, so our current short bow damage is 95 and 8 from attribute scaling. We put that on. Still shows the same, but you are going to get an additional damage. Raises attack power of arrows and bolts. So, excellent stuff. Now, I'm going to go grab some additional soldiers here just to get some additional runes. And the other great thing is when you're ready to deal with Redmane Castle, you already have the Grace Point ready for you. And just like that, I got 3 additional soldiers. And a whole bunch of... Let's see, I got another 1,300 runes. It was nice and simple. Plus there's another skull down here. This has been a very, very profitable... Except for now, I'm in trouble. So now it's time to go on. So let's head back to the Church of Ella. And we'll talk about what's left. The first thing is we should go ahead and level up as much as we possibly can. So let's go ahead and clear out all of the golden runes that we've picked up. And let's see where that puts us with respect to leveling up. I'm going to go ahead and pop all of the 4s, 3s, and 2s. I'm going to leave the 1s. I tend to keep the 1s around in case I need like a couple of hundred here, a couple hundred there to get me over the top of another level. So with all the runes that we've collected and the 3 caverns that we cleared, plus that area right there at the tower, we've got 18,000 to spend. Let's see where that puts us. I actually recommend not putting any additional points into endurance. At this point, with 1 additional point in mind, which was what we just did, we should focus all of our points on vigor and dexterity. I'm going to go ahead and get vigor up to the same level as dexterity. So we're now at level 15. Let's go ahead and get vigor to level 20, or to 20 points. We still have 2-3 more levels to go ahead and go. We'll put another 2 points into dexterity. We are now level 21 with a vigor of 20 and a dexterity of 18. Our health is now 652. And our attack power has gone up tremendously. Now, this is not necessarily the best spot to be in for the first boss. But it is you could very easily go and deal with the first boss this way. So what we're going to do is we're going to do exactly that. And I'm going to show you what it would look like. What is the damage output? I do not expect to actually beat this boss. because I've never beaten this boss with a bow before. But I want you to see what the damage output is of the short bow and the long bow. I'm going to remove the hatchet from my inventory altogether. And let's just take a look together. So, we're going to go to Stormhill Shack, and we're going to head to the castle. There's really only one way in, and I highly recommend you do it with a horse, because there are too many soldiers to combat for you to actually have to deal with them one-on-one. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the horse here real quick. And then I'm going to run up the road. Right on past these guys. And then we make a hard left. And run along this cliffside. Now, if you're fast enough, you won't get hit by anything, because they're too slow to react. And then I'm going to run along the wall and duck in. And then there is a site of grace right here. Grab the hatchet just in case. There we go. I just wanted to be careful. Okay. So, equipment-wise, let me remove the hatchet. We've got 76 regular arrows and 10 fire. We've got plenty for what we need. We have 4 health physics. I am going to readjust my physics, though, because we're not going to use nearly as much magic or focus or ashes of war in this boss fight. You might use more in others, but in this boss fight, we're probably not going to use that much. So I want to make sure that I have enough health. The other thing is, I want to... Do I have enough? I do. Okay. But I do have... I did get another sacred tier. Okay. So we should now be at +2 on our flasks. Okay. Let's go see. I will tell you I'm going to start with the longbow so that I can get a mighty shot off at the very beginning. I am also going to skip the cutscene so I don't spoil it for you. So 86 points of damage. This is the thing that you're going to have to do. That was very badly timed by my part, on my part. And I'll be honest, I haven't fought him in a while, so I don't remember his movesets. I got caught against the wall. Now I'm caught on a sword. Alright, we made it to phase 2.
Art of passing skill. Warrior blood must truly run in thy veins. Tarnished.
Oh, AoE. Yep. Bad timing.
Put these
Yeah.
foolish ambitions to
Still,
rest.
considering that was my first attempt on this guy in probably a month, and it was my first attempt on this guy with a bow, I got him down to 1/3 health. So, it's not a lot of damage. I probably could absolutely stand to go out and level up a few more times. But you'll see what you're going to get if you try and be an archer with a particular boss like this. Excuse me. One thing to keep in mind, and I'm going to put a lot of additional things for mid-game to discuss in the article that'll be associated, and I'll make sure to put the article URL in the description of all these videos that are going to go up on YouTube. I only have access to one talisman. You get up to 4 slots before the end of the game. There is another talisman very close by that might be of value to archers, and that is the Turtle Talisman. It provides stamina recovery, 20%. Actually, it's 17.7%. Very, very valuable for archers as well. In addition, there's a number of times there where I could have potentially used Barrage instead of just regular shots. But I felt like timing-wise, I had a better opportunity with just regular short bow than to go down this path. Now, here's the other thing to keep in mind as well. Because of the fact that you're an archer, you got to keep replenishing your arrows, which means you might only get 1 or 2 attempts against this guy, maybe 3, before you're going to have to go out and farm to get more arrows. Something to keep in mind here about being an archer. That's why I always make sure to have a secondary weapon. Doing a bow-only run, for example, like Lobos Jr. did, and I'll provide his YouTube URL and actually direct link to his run in my description as well. That is an extremely difficult fight. He did it extremely well, but he also went all around the world to get all of the best things from the very, very beginning and got them all leveled up to max. So, an archery build can be a lot of fun, but it is going to be difficult at times. Just something to keep in mind. Hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've enjoyed this series, and hopefully you'll take a look at some of my other getting started videos, as well as even my first playthrough of Elden Ring. Thank you very much.